A brand new Game Boy Advance title just recently came out this year called Goodboy Galaxy. It's also available on the evercade system as part of the dual package with Witch and Wiz. It's also set to come out on Steam next year, along with there being a Nintendo Switch release. But it may follow up with an Xbox and a PS5 release, but we'll see what happens throughout there. But it is planned to come out on both Steam and Nintendo Switch as well. So, here's the story. You play as a dog named Maxwell, and he's a good boy. He's just driving into space with the little spaceship he's got. All of a sudden, he crash lands, and now he's got to go find space parts, which is in different areas of these planets, or at least just these planets in general. So you have like these 3 different things, or at least 3 different ways to find these pieces. Now, there's actually 3 of them, and they have their own restrictions. You have one that takes away your shield, you have one that takes away your gun, and then one that takes away your jetpack. So, everything it varies, and you need to play smart when it comes to finding your own path. So, you also need to do your friends some favors, because if you don't, then, well, this isn't a spoiler or anything, but if you don't have a certain amount of friends, you can't really finish the game. So, it's best just to make friends. Just do everything you can. There's like so much to do in this game. And it's one of the late Game Boy Advance titles that, well, it's a homebrew one. It actually saw the light as a trailer, and a lot of people seem to really be excited about this one. And I didn't hear about this one until evercade did their indie, their special presentation video. So I looked into it, and I actually thought it was cool. So I got myself the dual pack, I played it, and I beat it. So it's kind of similar as to how you guys play Metroid or something like that, you can say, because you go around finding these pieces and that's it. There's also some upgrades you can do, like upgrade your gun. Like you can have different types of blasters, like a warp one, a blast through certain things. You can also like shrink. You can shrink enemies, or you can shrink yourself. Because shrinking yourself, you can actually go to certain areas that you couldn't even do before. Also, if you see an exclamation mark next to those little things, that means there's been something new there, and you gotta make sure you look into it. Do these new people or friends some favors, they'll become your friend. There's also mini games involved, so expect that one. And in terms of everything too, there's these shards you can collect. I highly recommend you guys keep collecting them as you keep playing along, because you'll need them for later, and I mean you're gonna need them for later, so I'm not gonna explain to you guys why, but just take my word for it. It actually plays pretty well too, even if it is a Game Boy Advance title, which is something I have, and I still have to this very day. Also, if you guys want to buy a physical cartridge for the Game Boy Advance, it's going to be around $60, which, if you ask me, that's overdoing it, because if I remember correctly, handheld systems, or at least just games in general, are always cheaper to buy and cheaper to make. So it kind of makes no sense on the pricing part, but getting it for $20 for the evercade was a much cheaper way to get it. Or if you guys don't want to get the physical version, there is a digital ROM you can buy for a much cheaper price. And you can play in emulators, or you can just get your own little thing and plug it into the Game Boy Advance, and you can just play it on there. So it's actually a fun game, and the music is pretty well too. And it plays, looks, and feels like a Game Boy Advance title. Something that would just like come out in the early 2000s, and it really shows it too. I think this may have either by one person or 2. I think it was a group of 2 people, but with a few friends helping them out. So, in terms of Goodboy Galaxy, you guys are gonna have a lot of fun playing this game as much as I did. Look, there's gonna be times where you're gonna get lost, but that's what it is. It's like Metroid. You get lost all the time. But it's not bad. If you guys can figure out what places you missed, don't worry. There's a map you can do by pressing the pause button, and you can look around and see which areas you missed. The key point of which ones you missed are these buzzings. Oh, and by the way, just for fun, if you pause the game and press the select button, you can change your background of the pause button, or at least the pause menu. And it's actually pretty cool. They even have like a computer background too, which resembles to Windows. And that's not bad either. There's a few themes, but there isn't like too much offer, but there is some. You could also find as bonuses like oranges, and cassette tapes. Cassette tapes are for you to listen to music of the game's soundtrack if you really wanted to. Also, just keep doing your friends some favors in this game, and I think once you get a hang of everything, find some parts where they need a request, you go back to that person and they'll give you a reward. Either just be your friend, which they will, or they'll give you something special if you just do so, which can help you progress the game even further. There's also some bosses, but they shouldn't be too hard for you guys to fight off and whatnot. So all I can say is that I hope you guys enjoy this game as much as I did, and I really highly recommend this game if you guys haven't gotten it already. But if you guys are modern system guys out there, then you're just gonna have to wait till next year. Well, the estimate date is Q1 2024, so hopefully there'll be enough time for you guys to gather up some stuff and just hope for the best you guys can play the game. Do I know the price of those ones? No. But cheapest so far is evercade. And yes, you can play it in the handheld, the fast game, or the home console versions, but it is cool to see them doing this, and I think you guys will like playing this game. There's like so much to do, but you don't realize it. There's you need to at least like find 60 friends in this thing. That's at least what I can tell you guys. So there's a lot to do, and for me, now this isn't my issue. I'm not sure if this will affect you guys too, but the credits never seem to end, so I just stopped. I thought there'd be like some sort of epilogue after that too, but maybe if you guys grab a bunch of friends, like everything that requires, maybe that might happen. But for me, I didn't get all of them, but I got most of the people. You gotta do them favors. That's how you really do, like, find friends, whatever. If there's like areas that you know you haven't explored yet, and that's really the key as to where you should find some of these things. So I'll leave the hats off to you guys, as this is one of the best Game Boy Advance homebrew games I've played, and I think you guys will like this.